How's it going, everybody? This is Brian for Pop Culture Crossing, and today we are talking about Oliver Stone's 1986 Platoon. This movie was both written and directed by Stone and provides a succinct glimpse into the shock and horrors of war. The film follows a young, innocent recruit's journey to becoming a disillusioned, hardened, and dazed soldier. Platoon's hard-hitting story and outstanding performance by its actors will leave a lasting mark on viewers. The movie's story follows Chris Taylor, a young recruit who has willingly waived his college education so he could fight in Vietnam. Taylor desires to be anonymous, and the military provides just that. Additionally, Taylor is hoping that he can start totally fresh and new in his new life as a soldier. However, when he arrives in Nam, he quickly realizes that war is not glorious, and when a power struggle erupts between two non-commissioned officers within his platoon, the lines between ally and enemy are quickly blurred. Platoon does not waste any time in its introduction. The film drops viewers directly onto the landing pad as Taylor of Bravo Company arrives in theater. One of the first sights that Taylor sees is a group of soldiers recently arriving back from the jungle, and they are just completely dazed and shell-shocked. The film then guides viewers along the path of seeing the bright-eyed Taylor be transformed into the very type of men that he witnessed when he first arrived. As such, the story and the experience as a whole comes full circle, and it does so without dropping any beats. This is not to say that the film is a non-stop wartime action movie. There are plenty of combat sequences, but one of the major components of the movie is its depiction of the psychological aspects of war and its effects. In addition to the traditional war elements of the film, it also depicts the way in which a theater of operations can quickly spiral into a cesspool of war crimes. This is communicated in a very strong and haunting manner. Taylor narrates segments throughout the movie that reflect a letter that he is penning to his grandmother, and he often talks about the developments as they are unfolding and kind of the effects that it has on him and his observations of them. So this device at once communicates Taylor's inner struggle, as well as the helping viewers understand the overall context, and this also appropriately helps progress the narrative. Platoon's tone consists of illuminating the horrors of war and the psychological components that often accompany war and conflict, and combat specifically. The film's opening fade-in text is a quote from Ecclesiastes, and it states, "Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth." Taylor also admits at one point in the film, "We did not fight the enemy, we fought ourselves, and the enemy was in us." So these two quotes very nicely set the somber ambiance of the film. As mentioned above, the brutality and shock of armed conflict creates a poignant, troubling, and emotionally heavy experience. The performances throughout Platoon are great. Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, and Willem Dafoe provide the principal roles. The film explicitly illustrates the journey of Sheen's Chris Taylor from being a new tender-footed soldier to a hardened combat veteran, and the way in which Sheen depicts Taylor's horrors and his character growth throughout his experiences is very well done and superb. The struggle between two of the platoon sergeants, Barnes and Elias, portrayed by Tom Berenger and Willem Dafoe respectively, is another key aspect and focus of the film. Their power struggle sets the stage on which war crimes and aberrant behavior by members in the platoon are displayed. Sergeant Barnes is actually the film's antagonist, and he and his acolytes in the platoon engage in criminal behavior, particularly in one sequence that essentially is Platoon's depiction of the actual My Lai massacre, which happened in 1968. Although Barnes is despicable and repulsive. Berenger's acting is incredible as he fully assumes the notorious criminal role. Barnes's malevolence, thankfully, is counterbalanced by Defoe's Sergeant Elias, who is a well-liked sergeant in the platoon, and he strives to maintain his dignity as well as the dignity of that of his men. It is great to see Elias interact with his fellow soldiers, and Defoe's dialogue delivery and reactionary acting is powerful indeed. Other supporting roles from Keith David, Forrest Whitaker, Francisco Quinn, Kevin Dillon, John C. McGinley, and Reggie Johnson, just to name a few, show the diverse mix of individuals who comprise the platoon itself. Robert Richardson's cinematography is great. His shots and compositions powerfully convey the reactions of the film's characters to their war experiences. And an iconic sequence in the film's third act depicts betrayal and isolation. And this sequence is particularly striking and well done. Everything considered, Richardson's shots nicely blend with the film's horrifying and emotional story and tone. The film's production design, from the set pieces around the base and its living quarters to the design of the Vietnamese villages and the use of pyrotechnics, are well done. Although it has strong emotional and psychological elements, Platoon still is a war movie, and its convincing production design and also sound design is a constant reminder of that fact. Oliver Stone's writing and direction of Platoon are noteworthy. The gripping though distressing story is communicated in a clear and concise manner, disturbing as it may be. And the movie itself is also set in a cinema verite style, which is a realistic style of movie making, and as such, telling the story for cinema. The character balance between Barnes and Elias is handled well, and the moral gray zone in which Taylor and the other soldiers often find themselves is intense and pretty disturbing. Moreover, Platoon won the following Academy Awards, so buckle in, here we go, there are quite a few of them. Best Picture for Arnold Kopelson, Best Director, Oliver Stone, Best Sound for John Wilkinson, Richard D. Rogers, Charles Greensbach, and Simon Key, Best Film Editing, Claire Simpson, and Platoon received the following Academy Award nominations for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Tom Berenger, Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Willem Dafoe, Best Writing, Screenplay written directly for the screen for Oliver Stone, Best Cinematography for Robert Richardson. It is clear through its award achievements and nominations that Platoon is a well-rounded film and has strong story, acting, as well as technical aspects. In the end, Platoon is a very emotionally onerous film. It is definitely not for the faint of heart and really does not yield an enjoyable or entertaining movie experience. Rather, it is a sobering film that is not afraid to show the horrific aspects of war. Many films convey war in a glorious depiction and as a glorious feat, but Platoon handily carves out its own rightful place in the handful of films that seek to illustrate more realistic depictions of warfare. So that's my review of Platoon. Be sure to let me know in the comments below or hit us up on the social media channels about your thoughts of Platoon if you have seen it. I want to hear what you thought of the Barnes-Elias conflict, as well as let me know how Platoon ranks and, really holds up in terms of other war movies that you enjoy. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about that. Also, don't forget to check out our full detailed written review at popculturecrossing.com, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast audio versions on iTunes and Google Play. And as always, if you could like, subscribe, and follow, and most importantly, share our reviews if you enjoy them. That would be great, and we appreciate your support. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.